I'll just cut to the chase here. Have you ever wanted to play a game starring a police sketch artist? Well, Drawn Down may be the game for you. It comes to us courtesy of Studio Hazy and is available on Steam for Windows and macOS and on iOS too. Looks to be their first game, so let's have a nosy. Drawn Down follows the tale of one Nathan Jordan, the aforementioned police sketch artist, residing within London in the year 2036. He's called into work to, surprise surprise, sketch a suspect from a witness description. A strangely familiar looking suspect. It doesn't even take a second. Nathan realises he's just drawn his own brother. And in case you didn't think this was a rabbit hole in the making, the witness covertly hands him a name and address on the way out. Turns out that in the time they've been estranged, Nathan's brother has become a hostage of the mob and it's up to Nathan to get him out of that mess. With his police sketch artist powers. Well, if we can have a janitor save the universe multiple times, no reason a sketch artist can't save one single guy. This is another case of the Steam page revealing enough plot to cover about half an hour of gameplay, and in this particular case, that's about a fifth of the game. It's short is what I'm saying, about 2 to 3 hours. That said, if I'd stopped after brother is a suspect, it wouldn't quite indicate how the game plays out. Some criminal hijinks ensue, along with an investigation portion, which reminds me of this picture for some reason, before we go full rabbit hole and the plot unfolds in all its... okay, to be honest, the plot kinda goes off the rails at the end. Hard to tell if they wrap it up too quick, or if they're simply revealing all these suspiciously convenient things in a really short time span. Probably a combination. In any case, the game does suffer slightly from that. I'm not in favour of padding games out for no reason, and the ingredients of the plot are mostly there, suspiciously convenient occurrences aside, but I think having time to let some of those plot points simmer rather than have it all boil over at once would have been to the game's benefit. All you get out of that is a particularly forced cooking metaphor. Apart from that, it's a relatively simple game. Pretty much a 2-button interface, there's your inventory sitting there being an inventory, and you can double click to gallantly stroll towards doors, if the game feels like it. Something more interesting to talk about is that you actually do some of the police sketch artistry yourself, listening to a description and picking the appropriate picture out of 3 to match. And you just go down the facial features until you have a full likeness. Unless you mess one of them up and you have to start again, but that's the extent of your punishment. Start again. Don't worry if you're not too sure on the terminology either. The first time this minigame plays out, the witness acts as the audience surrogate, asking what Nathan means by, say, describe the man's build. It's weaved in quite well. The whole thing is a nice change from the object inventory puzzles we're so used to, which must be why you only get to do it 3 times. And the last time you do so is so completely ridiculous that you can't help but look forward to it, so if you do play the game, yeah. I wish I could say there's a layer of cheese running through it all to soften that particular blow, but not really, it's played pretty serious. At least apart from the CEO, who sounds like a game show host for no good reason. The rest of the voice acting usually hovers around the okay mark, not fantastic work. I mean, sometimes the volume levels don't even match. That really doesn't help. It's not like the developers simply weren't trying, though. Your first task after you discover your brother's predicament is to rob an art gallery to gain his freedom. You scope the place out and everything, albeit in a linear, predetermined adventure game controls type of way. It's hardly Hitman or anything, but it is a neat new kind of puzzle segment I haven't seen done before. And again, not the only puzzle type to deviate from object inventory or navigate dialogue maze to unlock more story archetypes kind of way. And that's not knocking those, just saying we can use some variety from the classic tried and tested methods. Anyway, you get a list of topics on your phone, which you'll then combine to create links and unlock more story just like the dialogue mazes. It feels better than I'm describing, I can tell you that much. The phone itself is nicely done. Limited in functionality, but feels very much part of this world and serves a gameplay purpose that doesn't seem forced in design-wise. I also like the opening scene, right after a quick no regrets voiceover. Your goal is to purchase a bottle of wine on your way to work. He's intending to save it for when he gets home, don't worry. This gives you a place to get used to the controls, whilst also establishing that despite a society in which fully automated stores exist, there is still going to be crime. I mean, Nathan would be out of a job otherwise. The kind of crime that our protagonist wouldn't dream of leaving unreported, which he can do from the same machine that took his payment. What's that? Computing advancements leading to automation of everyday jobs that also pave the way for techno corporations to push surveillance into our lives for their own gain? Sounds pretty cyberpunk, doesn't it? Well, good thing, because this bright palette swerved me for a second. I don't think I've seen a cyberpunk game this brightly coloured, at least without neon being involved. Not that it can't be done, it's just not what I expected. This combination makes the game feel a bit more 10 minutes into the future rather than cyberpunk. Wheeled vehicles and automated shops, bullet weapons and cyborgs, a bit of a mishmash going on here. I'm honestly not sure what I was expecting with this game. It's a very cheap title, just over £2 at the time of writing, which despite its short length does attempt to take you places. I think the map screen ends up going 5-6 individual locations, and that's a bit more literal minded than I meant to go with that sentence. Anyway, there's a free demo available and a developer's commentary you can try. Like I said, real effort was made here. If nothing else, it's not often you get a game this cheap that's fully voiced, quality of said voices notwithstanding. I'll probably go back and try that developer's commentary out, if only because a second 2-hour playthrough isn't quite as daunting. Maybe they'll explain what happened with that ending, because seriously, it plays out like they just realised the series is about to be cancelled and the writers are scrambling to wrap everything up and link it all together. I'm not going to say that the game is bad or worthless, it had interesting parts that I liked, but this is a case of getting what you pay for, I'd say. It's cheap, it's short, it's ultimately inoffensive, but it has a couple of interesting bits. If you want to while away a few hours and don't mind paying a few quid for the privilege, go ahead.
I got here a couple of days ago. I've just been getting settled in. I'm Karis, by the way. Nice to meet you.
Night.
I'm sorry, I've really got to be going. I'll see you later.
Egg's collection of energy drinks. These give me heart palpitations.